I am Jerry the Geek. Today we're going to talk about bootleg movies on DVD and Blu-ray and whatnot. But before we get into that, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs, home theaters, just movies in general, check out my other videos on my channel because I do these discussions. I do reviews, collection updates, unboxings. Check that stuff out, see what you like. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. And always comment below, let me know what you think of anything. Now, today I'm going to dive into bootlegs. I've seen, multiple other YouTubers out there I follow over the last several months. People have voiced that's definitely been a hot topic. And so after all this time, I thought I'd just, share my thoughts. But, of course, really, most of my thoughts are going to be identical to most of the others, but I thought I'd share them anyways. I don't have many bootlegs myself. I just got a little handful here I'll show you. And, just because I was always against, bootlegging because it does, you're not giving the artists, studios and all that. They're not getting their money if you're cheap, getting the, bootlegs. But when it's the only way to get something on physical media, I can't blame anyone for, spending the money for the bootlegs. So many of us out there have these big collections. We spend thousands and thousands of dollars on movies all the time, but then there's certain movies we want and you can't get. If we have to resort to a bootleg, so be it. So I'm going to start out, the first one we're going to look at is something, it had a bootleg release, but it did finally get a official release last year, and we're going to talk about Prey. This is a Hulu exclusive back in 2022, and for the longest time, there was no announcements that come on Blu-ray or 4K, and so after a few months, I bought it on eBay. Came from China. And of course, the version I got from China, it didn't even come in this keep case. It came in some little chintzy case and crappy artwork that looked like it came from a damn copier. So I went online and downloaded the cover for the Blu-ray, and I had a spare Blu-ray case, so I put it in there. And for a bootleg, it has some pretty cool artwork for the disc itself. And for a bootleg, it had a very good image quality, and I was, impressed with it. They did a really good job with it. Plus, it had a DTS soundtrack to it. So impressive overall. Really enjoyed that. But when it did get released, I did fork out the money. It's like, I'm going to give the credit where credit's due. I'm going to buy the official release. So I did replace this with an official copy. Next up, we have an old Disney classic, Song of the South. Now, this is all, because of controversy of the content. It's been talked about. And I don't see this ever getting a new physical release. So I decided to go ahead and get this. I got this from eCreator. But during a search, I found a discussion on this online. And I found this post that was from 2021. And someone had posted, I discovered that the infamous Disney title, Song of the South, has entered the public domain in Japan last year due to distribution and copyright differences. So because of that, it is now legally obtainable in Japan and legal for Japan to make this available as an import for the entire world. Again, this came from 2021, so I don't know how that fares today, but anyways, I got this on eCreator. I have not watched this yet. I remember seeing this back in the day when it first, well, not when it first came out because I wasn't even born yet, but I remember seeing this once, when I was a kid. I'm not sure how I saw it, but I do need to check this out and see it. There's multiple versions available on Blu-ray to check out, but definitely, check Etsy or eCreator and see what you can find. Now, next up is a Will Smith movie. Yes, a Will Smith movie that is not available on physical media officially. That's hard to believe because why would you not make that available? Because it's Will Smith. It's an action movie. It's going to make money. And we're talking about Bright. This was a Netflix exclusive. Besides Will Smith, you have Joel Edgerton, directed by David Ayer, who's also went on to direct Beekeeper, Suicide Squad, Fury, and many others. I actually did a review of this you could check out. I did a review a couple of years ago. I don't like doing a review of a bootleg, but I don't consider this a bootleg because on the back, right there, it's a not for sale. This is actually a promo copy where they'd printed up so many and sent out to just, to advertise the movie, which I'm not sure why you would advertise something that's not going to get a physical media release. I did a lot of that back in the VHS days because a store I worked at, every once in a while they'd send out promo copies to the stores. That way a store owner could check out and see if the movie, see if it's good enough if you want to buy one or, if you want to buy multiple copies for the video store. So that's how a lot of times I got to see some movies on VHS before they got released. I remember a Dead Poet Society was that way. And, we got a promo copy and we was all taking turns, people that we knew really well would let them borrow the copy to watch, and, it was a great movie. Of course, because this was back in the day when you couldn't buy VHS unless you had $50 to $60 because they weren't sell-throughs. So that's what this is. This is a promo copy, so I wouldn't technically call this a, bootleg. So I did a review of this. It's a really good movie. It's a kind of a fantasy, it's a action buddy cop movie with fantasy in it because it has to do with the LA cops. The humans live with orcs and elves in a world of fantasy. Smith plays an LAPD officer, and he's a first human cop that actually working with an orc cop. Phenomenal movie. I love this movie. I would love to see this get a physical media release. Again, being Will Smith, why ain't they doing this? Netflix they need to get their heads out of their ass. That's why I refuse to give any money to Netflix anymore. I used to get the disc rental, would get Blu-rays. But the big reason why I hate the Netflix is because I wanted to see this movie really bad. And a few years ago, I decided, what the hell, I signed up for the free trial membership to Netflix just to see this movie. But this movie wasn't available. There was only a limited basis. It wasn't available. So I couldn't see the movie I wanted to see. And then there was a couple other ones were the same way. Netflix movies that they could not put out. So what the fuck is the deal paying the money and not having Netflix originals be available? So I said, screw them. I canceled the membership. I will not give them any money whatsoever. But there are some copies of this still floating around. Definitely look on eCrater or Etsy. If you're a Will Smith fan, if you like those cop movies, something different, this is action-packed. It's a great movie. And shame on Netflix for not making their stuff available. Now, next up is some we all know about, and many of us probably have, but if you don't know, is the Star Wars despecialized editions on Blu-ray. Now, these is my own original cover art I made, because these actually came in one case, and I split them up and put them in individual cases and made my own cover art for them. Made them for the whole set, so I got a design that goes across all the spines of all 9 movies. Now, a little history on the despecialized versions. Basically, this guy, I didn't write his, goes by the online name Harmy. And it's, I wasn't sure which ones I got, and I looked at the disc. And it does have the Harmy Film Restoration logo on it. So these are his restorations he did. These became famous from the work he did. He had a team of like about 9 or 10 fans that, they did all the work and doing multiple prints, and how much it was, did the restoration for Blu-ray. Because these movies were never available in high definition. The last theatrical versions you can get are on DVD. After that, Lucas said, screw you, you're not getting the theatricals anymore. That's why Lucas has a big love-hate relationship with the fans. But yeah, these versions, I always knew that these were available for download for many years. but I never went that route because I want to have the physical disc. I don't want to piss around with downloading and making my own disc. So finally, back in 2020, a friend of mine on Facebook actually sent me a link to get these online. Actually, I had some Blu-rays available. So I got mine through Etsy. Again, they came in one case. I prefer, having individual cases, so that's what I did. But you can easily get these on between Etsy and eCreator and many other sites and eBay. You can find these. Now, putting my notes together for this video, I did realize that they did that's called Project 4K 77. Also, come to think of it, another YouTuber out there, I just saw a video the other day he did talking about these, and I think he got the new Project 4K 77 versions. So basically, it is the group of fans again went in and actually was able to complete 4K restorations from some original prints. And they first did the original Star Wars, then they had the work prints of Return of the Jedi, and they finally went back and they found some prints of Empire Strikes Back. So these are available on 4K as well. And I actually saw a quote from Harmy that did the original despecialized versions. He actually went on to say these new 4K restorations are, vastly superior to his. So when someone, puts that much time and effort into making these things and come out and say, hey, these newer ones are better than what I did. So that's really cool. So I'm looking at probably actually getting this new 4K editions of these. But if you're interested in some of the, backstory of that, more in depth than what I talked about, I'll leave a Wikipedia link below that talks about the whole history of a Harmy Despecialized version and going down and talking about the Project 4K 77. Talks a good history of the whole Star Wars and all this stuff, and all the different editions. So if you want to check out some of this stuff, check out the link below. So that does it for what, like I said, that's all I own on as far as bootlegs compared. Like I said, that's all I own. Again, pray I replace it with an official edition. I do want to there's other ones out there I do want to pick up. I was holding out for official releases, but they're not happening. One of them is Barbarian. Everyone wants that. Disney, screw Disney. It's a movie that made money. People's going to fork out the money if they release it. They're not doing it. So I'm on the fence. I want to get Barbarian. I'm getting close to pulling the trigger for it. There's another Greyhound with Tom Hanks. An old war movie. I heard it's really good. It didn't get a physical media release, so you have to buy a bootleg. So to wrap it up, are bootlegs good or bad? Yes and no. If you're buying them just because a movie came out and it's, too expensive and you don't want to spend that kind of money, so you're going to buy a bootleg, that is bad. That is so wrong. You do not do that. But if it is the only way to get a physical media release in your hands to put up on a shelf because you love and you want to own it, I think it's okay. But again, if afterwards they do release an official copy from the studios, replace your bootleg with an official release. I think most of us out there would do that and have done that in the past. Again, we're spending thousands and thousands of dollars. We're not against spending the money from a studio. We just want to own it. So if we have to buy a bootleg to own it, we're going to do it. So that's my thoughts on the whole bootleg situation. Again, that's pretty much the same thing most others have talked about. I just wanted to share my thoughts in case you haven't if you haven't seen any of those other YouTube videos out there. There's so many great movies out there that are popular enough that we want to own, but these studios are not pulling the trigger on releasing them. Disney's the biggest culprit of this. They just need to get their heads out of their ass. They're so against physical media. So just license out to others, boutique labels, or even Sony. Let Sony do it with the deal they've got. And the damn streaming services, you know, they're so against releasing some stuff. Netflix is the big culprit because there's only they have released some of their stuff, but not a lot. Apple's put out some of their stuff. Amazon Prime, same thing. A lot of their stuff not available, but they have done some on physical media. So please comment below. Let me know what you think about this, you know, whole bootleg situation. You know, do you have any yourself? You know, share below your, you know, what you have and what you might want to get. Please check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and we'll see you again. Geek out.